ignoring you. I'm just making sure that I'm live. So, um, hello. Just give me 1 second. Like I said, I'm just double checking that everything is working and that you guys can see me properly. I see myself, but I want to make sure. And yeah, I'm live. So perfect. So let me just set everything in place. Okay, so hello everyone. In case you catching us live, my name is Nali D'Souza, and I'm gonna be your host for the next little bit. If you're watching on replay, thank you so much for joining us, even if it's a little bit late for you. I know that this is actually it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Toronto, Canada, which is where I'm coming from. For some of you, it might be late at night. For some of you watching on replay, let us know where you're watching from. It's beautiful here in Toronto. The weather's finally changing, which is always a good thing. And it's always fun. So, with that being said, I hope you guys are doing great. We are gonna give it a few times until people find us, but then I'm gonna have to flip the camera because honestly, I might have like not a lot to do, but there's quite a few steps before we get to what we're gonna do. And today is gonna be all using the April 2025 kit. I have it. Is it April or March? See, I'm like, no, it's April. Sorry, I'm so confused. I'll tell you the story later. So I have it here. No mixed media is going to be used today. Today is all about working with pattern paper. So I have pattern paper. I have some ideas on how you can create different things. And I have my pattern paper and also my cardstock ready. I've done some things ahead of time. I'm gonna do some things live with you guys. It's gonna take us, I'm not gonna say a lot of time, but I want to give you some ideas. You don't have to do it all. You can take pieces of it and use it for your project. Um, there's some ideas that you might have seen already, but I'm gonna combine them and just give you some ideas on how you can use pattern paper. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a hoarder of pattern paper. I have a lot of it, like a lot. But you know what? Sometimes it's good to like just use it up. So I am going to use it up and we're gonna see. So like I said, we're gonna give it a few more minutes until people find us. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching on replay, let us know. It's always fun to see how far and wide we can reach. In case, like I said, you don't know me, I do 2 lives for hip kits a month. And I always enjoy working live the project. And the reason is because I always think, like, any person that receives a kit, it works the same way that when I open a box, like, a brand new kit, I open it and I go, what can I do? Sometimes what it looks on the camera is different what you get. So I like to come with a plan and an idea and then execute it as if you are working on it. Of course, I prep a little bit ahead of time because I only have a certain amount of time to use it. So if you see me like, if you think I'm going too fast or anything like that, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna flip the camera. It takes one button for me, and then we're gonna get started. So you're gonna see my table is nice and clean. Let me just tie my hair because it's always a good thing. It's growing really fast, which is a good thing, given my age. And like I said, there's always something fun to talk about here. So there's nobody home. I'm gonna tell you that I think this is the first time I go live in the past 2 weeks. It hasn't been an easy 2 weeks for us, so I don't want to talk too much about it. We had to put our little baby to sleep. Um, you know, he was just getting too old. His legs were failing. He had neurological problems, and it's been really tough for me. So I'm trying to get over this and trying to keep busy, but it's hard when you had a dog for like almost 15 years that was with you all the time. So it is like, it's been iffy to say the least. So like I said, today is gonna be, you know, and I'm gonna get sentimental and stuff like that. So, it's all about pattern paper. So like I said, I've pulled pattern paper, which is here, and I also have my paper basics. So we're gonna use the two of them to create a layout. So you're gonna see that I've used already parts of it. Already this one of the papers already disappeared. So I'm gonna play with what I have. And you're gonna see I have pieces, fussy cut stuff. So we're gonna use paper in three different major things. So one of the things that we always use pattern paper is for background, which is it's a great idea, but it's about transforming pattern paper. So I pull this paper to the side. The name of this paper is What a Day, and I love this circle. So I saw a few girls that actually stitched around it, and I would love to do that, but I don't have the time to go live and stitch around it. But I do have the time to cut some of this, give you an idea besides just opening the space on how you can use it to create texture and to create dimension. It might be a little bit bulky at the end of it. It's not gonna be like this height, but it's gonna be a little bit higher than your usual layout. So if you have, I'm gonna make it a little bit higher so you guys can see all of it. Um, if you have an issue with like, some of the things that I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna use foam adhesive and things like that, just avoid that step, okay? So we're gonna start with this. So my first idea is, love the paper. I could easily fussy cut around it and create like that scallop and then the circle. I am gonna cut the circle inside, not fully. So I saw a few, I was gonna say emails, it's not emails, sorry. I saw a few images on the Hip Kid Club of like, things that the girls have done and they have cut about it, filled some of it, and we're gonna do that. But usually, when I cut pieces apart, I'm left with those pieces. I want to show you a way because I'm all about hanging things, folding things, making it look as if it's something that is not. And I think that is a great way to use pattern paper. So, three ways we're going to use it. We are going to fold, we are going to fold, transform, and die cut. Okay? So, we're going to start with the fold. So like I said, I have three pictures here. The toy, like, well, this baby is this baby here. This is her outfit for her birthday. Her birthday happens to be in January. So I have three pictures. They all happen to be vertical. I'm just going to choose one of them. So usually when you see a design, usually tend to have the pictures like on the side. I want to create something that kind of opens up. So this is about the fold. So I'm thinking the picture to put it either here. I don't know which picture to put, but I want something that goes vertically because I don't want the fold to go this way, like from top to bottom. I want it to go kind of side or from like left to right. I don't know yet. So I found pictures that were kind of on the portrait, so vertical in other words, okay? So I have my three here. These are my goddaughters. That's my little Easy, and now it's her. It's like Christmas because her birthday is the second week of January, and that's my son. So I have three pictures, something girly. So we're gonna start with this. So this is the name of this paper is What a Day. And like I said, I do want to keep the scallop, but I want to play with this circle situation. I am not gonna cut it fully. So right now is when I have to decide what do I want to do with this paper. So my idea is I want to cut it either go to open left to right or kind of like a flap going up. So it's not that I'm undecided. It's just that I am having it's not even a hard time. It's just like I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, it's I don't know. I'm just setting up right now one of my cutting mat. This one is a cutting mat, but I want something that is gonna give me a little bit of a height to help me with this. So I'm just pulling one of my cutting mats. And I was thinking maybe to flip it here or like side by side. And I think I want to do kind of a circle that goes kind of in an angle. So I was gonna say a fork and a knife, sorry. Ruler, a pencil, and an eraser are gonna be like probably some of your best friends right now. Just because you don't want to cut the entire circle. We are going to cheat and make it look as if we are folded it. The other thing that I want to do is I want to keep everything in the pink because I'm going to add a lot more things behind it. So I want to keep it nice and simple. So like I said, I want to think of the angle. So I was thinking something that opens kind of towards the bottom. So sort of like this. You see, that's what my pictures are all like portraits so they can sit like this. So thinking this way, doesn't really matter. I actually kind of like this one. So I'm going to go with this one. These other ones are going to go into my little pile of for later use. So I have a picture here. So I just want to make sure that it stays within the circle and that goes right there. going to use a pencil just to mark, and I'm going to cut it right in this center line. So all I'm doing is just kind of circling it, and that's where I'm going to create the fold. So I'm going to mark it a little bit lower to where I have to cut. So I'm going to say around here. So I'm making two different lines. I don't know if you can see it. Here's the line where I'm going to fold, and here's the line where I'm going to cut. So that means that I'm going to cut all the way. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to cut. Let me see. Let's just get cutting, and I'll talk to you about it as we go. Now, when I say fold, you have to understand that I do want to make it look, like I said before, as if it's one single piece. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit difficult because I want, even though I create a fold, I want the pink side to show on top. That's what I'm not going to cut the entire circle. I'm going to cut it into pieces. Okay, so just bear with me, and you might see my head pop in right now because I'm going to have to kind of go in the picture. I want to cut my circle. I don't know if you can see it. There's the scallop, there's a border, and there's another white. I want to cut it right in the inside line of the circle here. So I'm going to take my time. These are probably the parts that are going to take us the longest. And I'm going to go ahead and start cutting. So start praying, because I am praying that I don't, that I keep it as a circle. And as I'm talking, I already screwed up. Okay, so see? And I didn't want to do this ahead of time because I could have, because then it's like, I'm defeating the purpose of showing you how I'm doing it. So I'm going to start it a little bit with my knife here. I could finish it probably too with it. It takes me time. Even though these things are really sharp, and I switched my blade to something that was going to help me for this. I know some of you are really good with, I love my X-Acto knife. I'm good with it, but it does take me time, especially because I want to preserve the circumference of the shape. So what I'm going to do is, not to screw it up so much, I'm going to get my little scissors and help me with this. So I was hoping, because I want to keep the outside kind of looking like nothing's happening. So I'm hoping and praying that I don't have a jagged edge. And maybe that's one of the reasons when I fussy cut, I tend to use longer scissors because then I don't have that jagged edge. You see how I'm getting it here? I don't like that. So I think I'm going to switch back to knife. So if you see me like, again, like I said, if you see my head pop in there, please don't judge. Took a shower, I blew dry my hair today in the morning, everything like, to be ready. So you might just see my white hair pop in and out. But like the main thing is trying to keep the circumference of this frame, and I'm not achieving the greatest of looks for it, but let's give ourselves some grace. Let's give me some grace. Like I was telling you, it's been like for me, and I think for my husband, not so much for for my children too, but mostly for me. I really, really, really sad. Um, when you bring a pet home thinking that your children are going to enjoy it, and that's what we did, um, you never think, and I was telling my husband this because this was his first pet. He'd never had pets. I grew up with dogs, but when I grew up with dogs, the dogs, got old, and I think that's why I know how it feels. Whenever they got sick, my mom took care of them. I didn't have to do anything, but you know, I had a hard time this time because when we got our Pucci, that was his name, um, it's been 14 years, or it was going to be 15 in September. Um, we bought it as a surprise for the kids. We had been trying to have a third child. We wanted to have a family of three kids. We couldn't. I couldn't have any more kids. So, okay, you make up your mind and think, "Oh, okay, we're gonna be happy, and that's how much the Lord wants to give us. That's fine." And then my husband got the bright idea, like, "What if we get a dog?" And he didn't tell me. He just woke up one day and said, "Natalie, get dressed. We're gonna do this," and I was like, "Okay, like, wow, you really thought about it." So little story. I'm gonna cut, like, you see how I marked it? I'm gonna cut it all the way to the line over here. So we went, we drove like around 4 hours away from Toronto, to a little town. We took a day trip. We didn't tell the kids. We told my mom, who was very surprised that my husband had decided to get a dog. I think that's as far as I want to go. Maybe a little bit more on this side. And we came home, and I think when we came home, my daughter was little. My son cried like he he was never expecting. We bought nothing for, like, our dog. We decided the kids were gonna choose everything, names, everything. So when they got home, we told my mom to take them out and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this part out. Remember how I created those lines? I am going to cut this out. So little story short, you know, he became part of our family. I happened to be a stay-at-home mom. That was our choice. So that means that the dog pretty much stayed with me 24/7. And if you've been to a live session before, you know that I was always the one that say, "Excuse me, I have to go open the door for my dog." If he's taking down lamps and everything on the way of my studio. So, you know, he pretty much spent his time with me. You see what I'm doing right now? I'm going to, so it's hard for me. It's been very hard for me. So pretty much it's not going to be perfect, but I have it here. Okay. So let's cut the name out. Let me just get my trimmer for that. So a couple of weeks ago, it's been a while, we realized that he couldn't walk. He was going blind. Okay, he was old. And my idea was like, we always said we're not gonna let him suffer. We don't want him to suffer. But we realized a year ago he had kind of a stroke, but he was doing okay. But like I said, it's gonna be 3 weeks. He was having a hard time walking, and my husband said, I think there's something, like, we're gonna have to make decision. I don't think we should, like, it's not good for the dog. So we took him to the vet, and the vet said, you know what? He has a neurological disease. It's not good for him. So we had to make the decision within an hour. And I'm telling you right now, guys, I think I've cried every night to bed for the past 3 weeks. So I have my circle here. I'm just gonna take a little, continue working, because if I stop, it's not a good thing. So I have my little circle here. I have, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to kind of just create a line. I'm gonna say around 1/4 of an inch from the line that I just cut. So for this, I'm just going to help myself with a ruler, and I have my metal one, but this one is going to just help me a little bit. So all I'm gonna do is just carefully, I'm gonna go on the other side better, okay? I am going to take this, let me put it straight here because it makes it easier for me. Gonna go, like I said, 1/4 of an inch, a little bit, like something like that, okay? Ish, but you wanna have kind of a straight line. And I'm going to use my X-Acto to kind of score this line a little bit, just a little bit, just to help me with the fold. So I don't know if you can see there's a tiny little line there. So I'm gonna help it, kind of fold it in a little bit. And I didn't cut it fully, I just kind of mark the line. So I can go like this, slowly. Okay, you see what I did? Okay. Now this is gonna come right here, and it's just gonna hide the line itself. So don't be like scared that you're gonna see what's at the back. You might peek a little bit, or we're gonna hide it. But you see what, like I said, I want pink on pink. I don't want like this iron net. I don't want distraction. I want to keep it as simple as I can. But that's a way to pretty much transform your pattern paper. So to help myself right now, what I am going to remember, this is going to go like this. So I'm gonna kind of cheat a bit here. So you see it on the B side. Did I cut the edge already? Yes. So I'm gonna go a little bit inside here, just a little bit, and I'm gonna glue it in place. Okay. So washi tape will help you. Anything that you have at hand. I happen to have double-sided tape handy. So I just walk to the side. I have my little cart on the right. So on my right. So I'm going to just hold it in place. with a little bit of double-sided tape. So let's see. Let's go glue this. Okay. I have my ruler. Your scissors handy. So there we go. So you see, I have it. You can go this way. I want to go this way. Okay. So remember how I created the marks? You barely see what's at the back, but you do want to have that little bit of a curvature. And as you can already tell, I'm gonna kind of find a way to create some sort of closure. I do want to create this little bit of a bubble. So that's what I'm not gluing this in place. I am not committing to this side yet, but I like this. I like the aperture. Um, it's not completely and nicely round, but it's good enough. It's ish, and that's worked for me lately. I realized that ish is perfect with the situation. So you really see, I'm gonna put I want to tack in my picture right here. Okay, so that's what I say. You want to get a picture that is going this way. If you get something this way, it's gonna take. You want something that's gonna help you with the angle. So make sure that when you find your picture, you don't have like you're not cutting faces or anything like that. Just be mindful of that. Maybe it's a peep for me, but I think that you want to appreciate. So I know that's how my picture is gonna go. So I have my first part. Remember, like I said, we're gonna transform. We're gonna create a background with a fold. So we've done that. I'm gonna set this aside. No, before I set it aside, let's go back to this. So now that I have this, I need to create kind of the background to the background. So you already can guess that I'm gonna put white, but I want to have something here. So I saw on social media, which have been like very not lazy. It just I gotta tell you guys, I'm going through a little bit of like a very depressed lately because of my dog. So I was watching some of the reels from the hip kit, and I think it's two of the girls used and like added things at the back. There's some papers that have lace and stuff like that. You can go ahead and do that. You can just back this space. I want to give you something on transforming your pattern paper. This is already a layout. You can create, cut the entire circle, fill it up, or you can create that fold. It's already a background for you, but I want to take it a step forward. So I started this because it's gonna take me a little bit longer than usual. The name of this paper here is Diamonds and Bows, and of course a beautiful paper. But I want to use this side. So this is my idea. I want to back this space with this grid, but I want to accent the pattern paper. And what I mean by accent is I want to use the details on the pattern paper to actually create what would you call it, more interest on your background. So the way to do that is I am going to literally empty the white spaces of this paper. So again, I'm gonna move this to the side, and I got an idea more or less how much you're not gonna need the entire paper. But if you want to use the entire paper and you don't want to have a cut file and stuff like that, you can just take your X-Acto knife or your crafty knife and just kind of carefully empty the inside of this, and then you're left with this formation, and then you come back with paper and you have the equivalent of a pattern paper. So you're transforming your pattern paper into something new. It goes from being a pattern paper to an interesting background. And if you add a little bit of dimension behind it, a little bit of foam adhesive, or I'm going to show you another way to do it, then you create that illusion of dimension, and it just makes everything pop, and it just gives you a little bit extra for your layout. So we're going to work on this. Like I said, you're going to need, see me bring, I have my magnetic mat here. So I just need to cut a few more pieces out of this. And this one of the things I'll tell you is it's great to work with something that has like a uniform background, like, and by I mean that is like something that is straight, because then you can use a ruler to help you. If it's like free form, like the circle, then it takes you longer. Having like a ruler is just, you're not gonna screw up. You know, I've done screw ups with the ruler. Don't worry. I'm known for that. So you see how easily you can create. I already give you two different ideas on creating your backgrounds. I'm just gonna combine them into one. Okay, so pattern paper. We're gonna use very little stuff after this because you're bringing a lot of interest to your background. You don't want to overdo it. So just keep that in mind. When you're working things like that, you don't want to overdo. So I'm just thinking of how much you have to cut. I need to cut. See, I'm going to have to cut this one, and maybe these other two ones here. So did a little bit ahead of time. Like I said, I prep a little bit, but you can easily, it's gonna take you a little bit longer. There's projects that I've created that I pretty much use. I love this. I love a box cutter. One of my favorite things to have. I have like three handy. Um, one of the things I tell you, if you go on a line in an island, what are the things that you will bring with you? Probably be a box cutter. Not even scissors, a box cutter, with sharp blades or, and probably adhesive, because, not everything can stuck. And maybe I can, create a raft with that. I doubt it. And books. It will have to bring like my, books I need to read. So that'd be my things to take. Honestly, a box cutter will be on my list of things. So I'm just cutting a few more. Like I said, just you don't have to cut it all. Just bring your paper. Just make sure that you have enough. I need to cut this one. Let me see. Yeah, I need to cut the one over here. Just gonna be careful with this one because it has like you're gonna cut the edge. So just be mindful of that. And let me see. Remember, I have to glue it. I have to cut this one and maybe these other two here. So let's go on. So I was kind of playing with the idea of like a circle in the background. So let's go with these two over here. Maybe I should do this. See, it's even coming apart here. See, I'm gonna press this really tight because I'm moving it around, so I know that I have to press it. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of give you the idea where it's gonna go, so I know exactly how much I have to cut. Remember that this has like a little edge here, so try to keep it. So I'm just seeing, I need to cut this one. I'm gonna kind of draw the circle lightly. So like I said, a pencil is a good thing to have handy today. So I know exactly that I have to cut also the paper right here. So let's go with that. Let's start with that. Where's my little, oh, I was gonna say, where's my, not my die cutting machine. So I have created a circumference here. I'm gonna go ahead and trim some of the, trim the brand, the barcode. UPC brand. What do you guys call it? I call it my UPC bars or my branding bars usually. I'm gonna go run here. Okay. And then I'm gonna cut it in half here. So I don't know how much is that. Probably 6 inches. I'm gonna open it to see. I'm cutting around, yeah, around 6 inches of the paper or so, just to be safe. Mm. Okay. Okay, let me put this away. So let's play it again. Remember, this is gonna go here. It's not gonna be straight. If you wanna make it straight, we can go ahead straight. It is not because of an angle. We're gonna use that angle to help us. Otherwise, we're gonna have to cut the entire paper. So we're gonna play with the angle. Remember, I drew the circles. So I know where it's gonna go. I'm thinking, what do I have to clean? And if I go this way, I just gotta clean the one over here. So let's go at it. And I'm not cutting the excess for now. I'm just gonna create my little, the way that I look at it is kind of creating your trellis, transforming your paper from just something flat to give it some dimension. So you are going to need some foam adhesive, or I'm going to use a combination of foam adhesive and cardstock for mine, because I think that you need to create levels for your layout. So I think these will benefit from levels. Um, so I'm gonna show you an idea for that. So if you have any like chipboard, those papers behind your paper pads, like that thick kind of chipboard cardstock that is holding your paper pad together, bring those out, save them. That's a great way to add a little bit of dimension without adding bulk. So I tend to save a lot of those things. Or as my husband calls it, you hoard a lot of those things. Yeah, I do, and very proudly do so. So I'm gonna take my little cutting mat and just put it away because I'm really good at saying I'm gonna put it away and then I don't know where I put it and the mess is insane nasty. cleanliness is friendliness. So I have it. See how you can easily cut it like that, take all the pieces, put it on top of some cardstock. Let me show you. I have something here, and you transform your pattern paper into something else. It stops being pattern paper. It can be like a cut file. You just add a little bit of foam adhesive. Then you have the shadow, and they just bring interest to your layout. So it's always a good thing. Pattern paper is always great. It's different ways that you can see it. So I have my pieces. I do want to create a little bit of separation between this and this. So I want to create levels. Okay, for that, like I said, foam adhesive, it's going to be your friend. Now, foam adhesive comes in different sizes, different shapes, different colors. I am going to take advantage of the thinnest foam adhesive that I have. And it's this one. I think it's like 1/16 or something like that. So it's super thin. Okay. And I have different, I'm going to show you. I have different thickness of foam adhesive. This is the thinnest that I could find in my stash. So I'm going to go with the thinnest that I have. Okay. And I'm going to sit down for this because it's going to be fun. Okay. And I need also a paper for my background. So before I even, sit down and everything, I'm going to go into my solids. Okay. I have things falling down here. Let's see. I'm going to go into my solids, and I want something that is the whitish side of things. So I saved that paper, and this one is Tranquil, which is like a really kind of a grayish, very like light. It's like a blue tone. I don't know. I was trying to find the name for this, kind of smoke blue. I don't know, but it looks great on the back. See, it makes the perfect circle pop out a little bit more. And then if I put this here, which is the trellis that I created, it kind of makes it pop a little bit more. So you see how I'm just transforming my pattern paper into something, like I said, picture. Let me just, I gotta clap. I was gonna sit down to this one. Picture's gonna go right there. So there's already quite a bit of interest. And then we're gonna have to fill it up too. But, so let's go at this part. We're going to, let's cut the branding bar of this because we don't need it. Again, this is from the basic cardstock. The name of this paper is Tranquil or Tranquil. I don't know how you pronounce it. English is my second language, so if I make a mistake, my apologies. Somebody the other day asked me, how long have you been in Canada? If you hear my accent, then you wouldn't know how long I've been here. But I've been in Canada for over 13 years or so. Oh, what am I saying? 33 years. 13, around over 30 years, and I still have the accent. And it's because we watch a lot of Spanish TV at home, and we also see, I'm just setting everything in place. Okay. And my mother speaks Spanish and she lives with us. So I talk to her in Spanish. I talk to my children in Spanish. They understand it. They don't speak it fully, but I'm happy they understand. And I have great communication with my family back home, so I'm always talking to them. So I think a combination of all those beautiful things have prevented me from losing my, what is the word, my accent. So I have it there. That's the thinnest form adhesive that I can find, and let's go at it. Okay, so I'm just going to, thank God I have the line there so I know where I can add it. Remember how I drew the line, the pencil line where everything is going to sit? That's going to help me to kind of place my foam adhesive. So I know I'm going to create the separation. I want to create levels behind this. Okay, so that's why I'm doing this. You can, if you don't like, dimension is going to be, too much for you, that's okay. That's fine. I'm not, we're all inclusive here. It's completely up to you. I happen to like the different levels, but if you don't like them, that's okay. Do whatever makes you happy. If you just want to, make sure that it fits inside your album or whichever way you save them, then go ahead and just add, glue it back to back. That's okay. But for me, having the little bit of separation here, or it's also going to help me to decorate it, to embellish this. And that's what I'm just taking my time. Okay. Kind of having I'm going to cut this in half because I think I want it. And like I said, I went looking for the thinnest ones that I could find in my stash. I don't think there's any fine, like thinner than this. And it said 1/16th. So I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. I think I have most of it already. Oh, and I have to add it here. That's what I was cutting it in half. I'm gonna have to go a little bit thinner. So I'm sitting down in case you haven't realized it. It's just because it makes it easier for me to do this part. Okay, so it's going to create this little line here. You are going to need something that it is going to kind of hold this way. And I'm doing this because I need to embellish. Like I said, I'm going to create a dimension. I'm hoping not to make it bulky. It is going to be a little bit taller or thicker than a regular layout. It doesn't bother me, but it might, it's not everybody's cup of tea. So just be mindful of that, okay? Um, we're almost there. So I'm just, you can glue this back, but I want to have the little bit of spacing. So we're almost there. Okay. Set this to the side. I'm gonna peel this. See, this is the part that usually takes me the longest, and that's one of the reasons why I like doing this, like, these type of layouts when nobody's around and there's nobody involved, because it is, if I wasn't doing like, for the live session right now, I'll be probably doing like tiny little pieces, making sure everything is secure, gluing it, ungluing it, hiding, stashing, and stuff like that. Usually I use, and I'm going to use actually cardstock to glue this in place. I'm going to try not to because we're going to see. I don't want to make it super thick, but I do want to create that separation. So I need to create, like I said, I'm creating levels for my page. That's the way I call them. It might be a different name, but I think the best way that I have to describe it is levels. So background, middle ground, foreground, and then the photo. So, you know, we're almost there. There's the static is sticking to my hands, and then I find them everywhere and anywhere. A couple, okay, so I have this. Remember, like I drew my circle? I'm gonna be smart and peel this from the background. Okay. And I have one take here. So just, I'm sitting down because it gives me a better, I'm gonna stand up. Better. Just trying to make sure that, when I glue it, you don't see the foam adhesive. I think I'm right there. There you go. Okay. I'm gonna be completely straight. That's okay. So you see, like a little bit of dimension. I can glue this back, but I'm gonna cut the excess. So just a pair of scissors. One. And then I'm gonna cut this over here. See? There we go. Okay, and here's where, remember, you add in a little bit of foam adhesive. That means that this needs to also add foam adhesive to be level. But I think I want to push it even a little bit more. Like I said, background, middle ground, foreground. So there's like 3 different levels. So I am thinking that I want to add something to push this up. So here's what, like I said, if you have it, doesn't mean that, you have to have it, but many times we do. Cardstock will help. You don't want to get something really, it depends on how puffy you want it. Not puffy, sorry. My God, the words are like, leaving me. Depends on how high or how thick you want it. I am looking for just like my cardstock. I'm going to my cardstock tree. my chipboard, not my cardstock, my chipboard. So I have my chipboard on the side. So there you go. I have chipboard on the side here. I always have it handy because, like I said, I use it in things like this. So if something just fell on the side here. So it doesn't have to be like the beautiful one. But what I want to do here is I want to create like something. Remember, there's already a little bit of separation here. I want to give it more. I can go with more foam adhesive, that is going to be a lot. So a good way to do it is I'm just going to add some cardstock to, maybe just add foam adhesive. The thing is, you have to make sure that when you do this, that everything is level. So this is already like a little bit, it is already a little bit, what would the word say? It's flat. There's a little bit of dimension already going on here, the separation between this and that. If I glue it right now, it's gonna be like kind of a slanted, so I need to make sure that I lift this paper. I can do that with foam adhesive and just add pieces, but instead I'm gonna do it with cardstock. So I'm gonna take this, I am going to cut like strips of this. Doesn't have to be super straight. I'm gonna use my, so I'm just trying to guess how big it is. So kind of like here. You see me draw the line with my nail? That's how straight and correct I am. Okay. Trim this here. See? Just to make up for that, the deficit in the height. I hope I'm saying it right. So let's go with some adhesive tape here. So what I'm doing right now by doing this is I'm putting everything at the same level. Okay. This now is going to be at the same level as my little trellis kind of situation going on. See? Now I don't have like a dip on the cardstock and everything looks like, I'm going to lift it up so you see it. So I can leave it like that. I don't mind it. I think I need to add a little bit of foam adhesive here just to make up the deficit. And I'm just going to go with foam adhesive. This is just little pieces. If not, I could cut cardstock, but that should be enough. See? It's a little bit of spacing, but it's fine. I could even go one further, but I don't think I want to. Or maybe I do. And I think I'm going to do here. And it's add like strips of cardstock again. So I'm going to go a second. No, you know what? I'm not. Because it's going to make it really high and you guys might not like me after that. So I'm just going to peel this and I have pieces stuck to my fingers right now. I'm trying to, make sure that it doesn't stick to myself, but it's sticking. I have to feel a bit more just to make up some of the spaces where I know that it's going to need it. I have more. I bought like a huge pack of this. This one of the things that I use a lot is foam adhesive and adhesive tape. So I have like a subscription every month. There's a few packages that arrive through, I'm gonna say the supplier because just in case Amazon, it automatically just arrives in my house, which is good because I run out of it really fast. And like I said, this one I have different sizes and they get stuck to my fingers. So if you see me shake my hand, it's because I'm trying to get this done. Okay, I think I'm good. Yeah, we should be good. Yes. So now we're gonna add tape to this. And flip it. And I need to get up again. I was sitting down, so I can do this. We're gonna line it up. Here we go. Okay, there we go. See? You see the little shadow? That's what you want to create. So you have this little piece. What you're gonna do is I just kind of give it a little bit of a bubble, little bit, and then you're gonna secure it. So I'm not putting the tape right at the edge. I'm putting it at the bottom, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a bubble, and then I'm going to press. That's why I didn't add more foam adhesive, because I wanted to create this. So I'm pressing, so it's glued. Okay, so my background is ready. So we've done two things. The fold, we fake it. We transform the pattern paper so it creates our background. So we have our base ready. We have our photo. Like I said, we're going to tuck it in here. Be careful. Remember, you have all the tape and all the stuff, and that's fine. Depends on what you want. I want it right there. I think I want it up here. Okay. So let's get these things in place. I'm going to back my picture with just a piece of cardstock, nothing like, major. I keep leftover pieces of other projects here, so I know that it would help me for this. And I'm doing this just because I want to make sure the picture is sturdier. Because I want to make sure it's not going to fold and flap while I'm working. So I tend to save a lot of pieces of other projects for this, especially when I'm making cards or something like that. Um, I tend to save the thick cardstock or things like this. I'm just moving. And a drink of water. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue this in place. Okay, so that little bit of cardstock, it's just going to give it make it sturdier, makes it a little bit thicker. It's going to help with the dimension too. And I want to tuck a little bit of it here. So if I'm putting my picture here, that means that I want to put my title down here. Okay, this is nice and straight and you can see it. So my title is going to be down here. Now I'm hoping to push my picture a little bit more inside. There we go. Because I want it to be right at the edge here. So I'm going to make sure that it's nice and straight. I got up again. So let's see, make sure that it's nice and straight. I'm going to use the grid on my background. And there's some of the paper is not like it's showing here. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it. Not showing anywhere else. A little bit on this side here. That's okay. I have the backing of the cardstock, so, and I want the pink to the one that show. Okay. Now we're good. Now nothing is showing. Little pet peeps. Okay, so I like that. I'm gonna just gonna use the grid on the background to help me with this part. Make it a ruler that is longer. So I know that this kind of sits there. Okay, so it's kind of there. I'm gonna get some format here. This one is thicker. Okay, so it's gonna pop a little bit more. Get another piece. Okay, see this press comes apart. Press, remember the little, make a little bit of the, and then press. Okay, press off. You're getting there. I like that. So now we're gonna go to the third way of transforming your pattern paper, and that is by cutting it. So I've done that ahead of time because, so I am using the stitchable spring blooms for this, something like, girly. So I'm gonna go with, why does this picture look like it's crooked? So I'm gonna just make sure that it's not. So I have two and two is a little bit on the side. So let's see. No, it's like kind of peevish things that I have, that drive me insane. Okay, that's better. Nice and straight. I need to lift this part up. Okay, we're almost there. So, like I said, I need to die cut pieces for this. There we go. That's better. So I use the stitchable spring blooms. I use pattern paper and cardstock for this. I'm going to tell you exactly what I used because I left it on the side here. It's, I used, there we go, Juicy from the cardstock, Breathe, Feather, and Calm to cut the colors of some of the flowers. And I use one of the pattern papers too here. This one here, which is Embrace the Sun, the fun. Embrace the fun. I like this pink side. So I've gone ahead and die cut before the live session because I needed to give myself a little bit of help. I'm just trying to clean up on the side here as we go. So I don't have to, I can find things easily. I'm having a hard time finding stuff already. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. Okay, so all my leaves are like from the green. And I literally want to fill this as if the flowers are coming up from the fold edge. We are going to just kind of start tucking in pieces here. And I have flowers that are purple, a little bit of yellow, not even yellow. I went with like that orangey tone. I wanted to stay away from the yellow. I have some blue and I have pink. I cut 3 of each one of them. So I'm just going to set them outside here so you see them. And I went large, medium, small with all of them. I have the centers too here, so I'm just pulling my pieces right now so I know what I have to play with. Okay, so you see I have large, medium, small of all of them, and I have my centers here and all my leaves here. So let's start by placing the, and I want the flowers just to be here, like on this area, kind of coming from the fold. So let's go with something on the pink. Let's see, purple. So you gotta be careful because remember how we glue this and like I said, the fold, just lift it up a bit and kind of put it inside here. I need to go some pink. There we go. Okay. And I'm trying to keep this part from like not until I'm not ready for this part. Just I'm gonna just gently fold it like that. Some pink. I have the centers here too. So let's just kind of continue building this up. Okay. I want a bit of yellow. I'm okay if like some of this looks like if it's coming off onto the page. That's fine with me. I want to go with something a little bit on the yellow side. So small, medium, large. Like I said, we're going to fill this edge here. Kind of hugging the photo right there. And I'm just placing pieces right now. Nothing is set in stone. Okay. Here. Let's go with this. Put it this way so I can see it. Let's go with some purple. Okay. You're going to see that I'm sticking things like, so it looks like. Let's go with some pink here. Okay. We're going to continue working down here. We're going to go with a big purple one here. A little bit of blue. So let's see here. Pink one. It's going to come off right there. That's good. And a bit of yellow. And probably this different shape. No, I like this yellow one here. Okay, so I need to kind of bulk this up a little bit more. So probably be another yellow up here. Gonna move this. 3 yellows, 3 pinks. I gotta go with a purple. The purple is probably gonna go. Oh, go. The blue might have to go. I'm okay if I put this purple. Let me move this one here. Put the blue. Move this blue to here. Put this blue right here. Kind of coming off. Move this purple a little bit there. Yellow will have to come here. I like the edges there. Blue will have to come here. I like that better. This blue will come right here underneath. This purple is going to come right here. And this yellow is going to make it probably here. You see? pink, yellow. How the purple? I think this purple has to come. I'm just trying to see. And I think I'm gonna go right here. Sorry, it's just my watch is telling me things that I have to do, but I don't have to do really. I want to tuck this in here, so I'm not kind of the yellow there and kind of double on the purple here. Pink will come here. And I don't want to overtake like too much here because I don't want to take over the picture. But you see how the flowers are going? So coming out of there. So I'm happy with what that looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and secure it. So foam adhesive is, I have the centers, like I said, I have the centers, so I'm gonna do it and that's gonna be next. But that's the part, this part's gonna take us the longest to secure this. Okay, so let's go ahead and start securing it. Here. Okay, so I'm gonna go like easy on the securing. I might come outside of the live and do more of it. And you can stitch around these flowers. Those are like, they are designed for you to, if you like stitching, hand stitching, you can go ahead and do it. I I am not gonna do it obviously. Not because I think, I could. One, because I'm going live. So it'll be like, it's hard to do while you live. But second, I don't want to add more because I have a lot going on and I don't want it to take over from like everything that I have here. I already have like different levels of background. So you want to make sure that that shines. And for that, I'm not going to, you could easily, I will stitch probably the outside, but no more than that. It'd be, I think, I don't want to sound like, bad, but I think it'd be overkill. For me, maybe for you it's different, but for me, I think it'd be too much. But to each his own. Okay, so right now all I'm doing is trying to secure my flowers until I'm outside of the camera, and then I'll probably add more foam adhesive because I think that just to make sure that they don't move. But I'm just adding foam adhesive to where I know that they are not going to move that much. And I'm gonna go with the centers. I might add an extra foam adhesive so it pops a little bit more. So just be mindful, like I said, you are going to, it is going to be, I'm trying not to make it bulky, but it is going to be dimensional. Is that the right word? Yes, that is the right word. Okay. And we're talking about levels. So I've started with the flowers and then we're going to fill in with the leaves. Okay. I'm just going. Remember how I told you these little pieces stick to you, like kind of like static? Literally, that's what it is. Static. Okay. Okay, there we go. My flowers are pretty much done. So I'm just, okay. So now we're gonna go with the centers. I have them all here. I'm just gonna pull them out here. And you're gonna need thicker foam adhesive for that. So you can use. Okay, now that I know, center of this pink one, can go with yellow. So yellow and a thin one. Okay, this blue one, I wanna go with the back of it. Small one and a thin one. I'm just doubling in my foam adhesive. This yellow one, where's my yellow pieces? Some of them are gonna stay like with no centers. So this purple one has this one here. So see it's popping up. I'm just kind of making sure that the centers pop a little bit more. And you can actually hand stitch the centers. That'd be great if that's your choice. This one is gonna stay like that. I wanna add a center to this one. And I don't like this. I think I'll make it what blue. Like I said, it's like static. I don't know if it's like too static, but it's like static. And so let me do another piece here. And I don't like really. I'm gonna go with pink. Better. This one yellow, yeah. This one's gonna stay blue. So I'm putting double foam adhesive. Okay, I'm gonna go probably purple here, yes. Just to make sure that it pops, I'm gonna go double foam adhesive. And that's what I'm thinking that I have to go with pink here. Where did I use my pink? No, go with a pink one here. There we go, better. I have this. I'm gonna add foam adhesive here. Oh, this one is not glued yet. Okay, that's fine. This is gonna need a center, so I'm gonna take advantage of the center right now to help me with this. 1, 2. Okay, it moved. Like I said, sticking to my nails, sticking everywhere. Here, let's get a thin one. There we go. Foam adhesive. Some of them I stay like with nothing on it. There we go. Let me just shake this out. Yeah, I like that. So now we're gonna feel. I have more. Let's see. This one needs foam adhesive. See, even when I said I'm not going to, I'm finishing all of them. But this one needs it. Okay. I'll keep those. Okay, so I have my 2 centers here. And now we're gonna go with leaves. There we go. So I have this one that kind of stretch. So and now that I can foam adhesive to the back of this to help me with this. So I'm gonna lift this carefully. Okay. Other one. I want it to be right here. So take foam adhesive to the outer leaf, then foam adhesive to the inner leaves. So it kind of creates that kind of a slant. Okay, so kind of tuck underneath. There we go. And that just helps you kind of create this. I'm gonna have to actually move it so it goes kind of like kind of creates the it follows the circumference. See, more so here, adhesive. I think this needs a center, not the proper here. Yeah. I said I wasn't going to add one, but the more I look at it and you can see the background, I don't like it. All these little papers are driving me insane. There you go. Better. So let me see what else I need this. I think I need this here. Yep. So foam adhesive. I'm gonna go with the large kind of branches right now. I need another one here. I got a few. So kind of coming off the picture from underneath. Actually underneath this blue one. Right there. Let's see, right there. Okay. Move from adhesive. Okay. Keep working on this. I cut quite a few leaves, so I knew because I needed to break some of this up. So one, okay, a little one here. You need to create kind of separation between the flowers, and that's what the leaves are gonna do for you. Okay, let's keep going. I have another one here that is kind to cut, so see. I think I want to add it right here. See? There we go. Beautiful. Keep building this up. A leaf. Get it down. We just need to keep playing with the leaves. So it's not that I'm going quiet. I'm just trying to make sure that all of these go. And you can see what it looks like. Okay, something's gonna go here, so don't worry about that. But I like this already. Another one here. So I'm thinking that I want to. I think I want to go here. You see this one? It moved, so I have like that piece. So I'm gonna do the smart thing. I'm gonna take this out better. Just trying to see where I need it. Here. Carefully. Here or here. Right here. Let's set this on the side now. Okay, let's keep going. A few more, and we're almost done. It's another here. We need this here. Okay, so we're good there. So what is the way? Go find a title for that. The coffee one that I'm public. I want to look for the sweet. Oh, there was another one that I liked before, but let me just look at it. Here. No. Go with happy. Then go ahead and trim it. Okay, so it's gonna sit right here. I can even go like this, but I want it like this. So I need a ruler to help me make sure that this is nice and tight. I can go like this too, like around it. I don't know. Thinking I need something here to hold it in place. So here's the part that, you know, you can find something like what I liked about this kit is they had a lot of bows. I think it may be a bow right there. No. See the things that you Thinking these buttons. Okay, I haven't even opened the there's a situation here. Okay, let's see something that stays within these colors. No, the title has to go here. Let's play with this. Can you read it if I put it like this? I'm just going to like lightly place it. I'm not gonna press. Actually, you know what? This may be the place. Let's see. I don't know if it's easier to put it this way. I think it reads better this way. So let's go the way that I think it reads better. Just following that line that I have right there. So let's see. Just trying to move things so it makes sense. These letters are not going to sit straight. They're going to follow the circumference. So just be mindful of that. Okay, let's go with the A. H. Try and see. Get it close enough so it reads as the circumference. There we go. I like that. And something down here. So we're gonna go and find something down there. Okay, you're not gonna need much. G I R. I'm just spacing it so it kind of fills the space that I have for the two of them. So I'm gonna have to move it a little bit more. I'm centering it a little bit here. So there we go. Okay, and I need an N. Okay. And it's something here. So look at this here. You make me smile, beautiful life. Okay, I do like this here. No, I don't like this here. But this, you make me smile. A heart. Yep, a heart's a good thing. So foam adhesive behind it. And it's something there. So yeah, there's this little container. I'm gonna look at my ephemera right now. I think there's some pieces in the ephemera that will fit nicely there. So it needs to be either white or I see this family here. I like that there. I'm just trying to find there's little like word strips. That's the word that I'm looking for. So very sweet. I like this. Kind of on the center of the heart. So I'm just gonna glue it here. This is gonna go up here. Adhesive. No, actually, just glue it. So line. Okay, so you see, like I'm going like this. I'm gonna need to add something that has like that kind of shiny one. I need another one. Something that just gives me that kind of banner look, just to stretch that. So I'm gonna combine it with, I saw another one here. There we go. And it's something else up there. So let's look at format here. Probably a circle or something. Not a fan of this, but this will work perfect here. Kind of a ribbon piece underneath. Lift it up, lift it up. Yep. Yeah, that's good. Just need something here to help me with, like, bring the attention here. So let's go into the puffy stickers and find things that are going to move along this way. So let's see, what do we have here? I'm just trying to see. Can I fold this up? I wish we had more of this so I can make. It needs to be something that brings your attention down there. So I'm just trying to think, what do I have here? Butterfly. Another butterfly. Okay. Need to pop it up a bit because then it doesn't lay flat. Another one. Pop it up a bit. And I'm gonna put it right there. That's better. Yep. And then just to bring like a little bit extra pops of shine, so I'm gonna go with a little bit of kind of these little pink and these little sparkly pieces that are in that foam stickers. I'm just gonna kind of think of it as enamel dots. So I'm just gonna sprinkle them around here just to give me extra pops of shine. I might have a few more. So I'm gonna use most of them here. Center. And one here. See all the little pieces that I told you that look like static? I think now, right now. Lift up this. A bit there. A few more. Right here. Right here. Let me see. Don't have any more. Give me this one out of here. Let's put this one. Let me see, where am I gonna put it? Right here. And then we're gonna put a little heart there. So let's go with something flowery. Perfect. Don't have any more? No, I do have more. See, I knew that I have more. Pink, another one to match that. There we go. See if I have another one that matches that color. Don't have another one of that color. I do. Okay. I'm gonna go with a blue one. And then there's a green one. Where are we gonna put it? Right. Just trying to see. Right around here. Okay. Now we're done. There we go. So you see how we transformed the pattern paper? Created the fold, created the background, and then created our flowers. I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, it's a little bit of work, but I think it's actually, a good idea to just get everything, all nicely set up. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Leave me a message. I would love to help you. I'm going to flip the camera so I can see you. There you go. Hi guys. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a mess from all the work. But thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, I'm going to take the pictures and post them on the Hip Kit group page on Facebook. I'm going to also post them in Instagram so you guys can see them on Facebook. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Take care, guys.